Something else I could... Anyone who spends any amount of time in this bar is bound to get to know Nyoka. On account of her and I don't mean that unkindly. Anyone who's rid us of as many beasts as you have is entitled to a few drinks. Not since Amber Heights. These days we have more leaving than coming. Off to join the Iconoclasts or some such. Thought it had a fancy ring to it. Name's the first advertising anyone sees, after all. Nope. But a
Watch your step if you venture outside the walls.
Got any news from the rest of Halcyon?
New face, huh? You from Offworld? A ship captain? Well, I'll be. Here. Why don't you grab a chair? Sit a spell and
By the smell, he's been reveling enough for you both already.
Me and my friends have taken our destiny into our own hands. We're untethered, free of responsibility and worldly cares. Well, as long as we don't run out of bits. But until the windfall's gone, we're riding high. See, we just walked out on our work. Had enough, we did. So now we're striking. It ain't any one thing but the sum of it all, having to work longer shifts for less bits. And the wages we do earn don't cover as much as they used to. Our supervisor, Velma, goes on and on about quarterly profits and meeting quotas. But that ain't what Sanjar promised us. Velma refuses to negotiate, so we're refusing to work. We won't go back until she agrees to pay us fair and proper. Us on Monarch, we're free from the board, you know? We have the right to lobby for better hours and pay. I wouldn't doubt it. You look like the type who tends to come out on top. Not like us cogs, trying to be the squeaky wheel but just getting deadlocked. It's been days, but Velma won't even hear us out. Maybe you could just make her listen to our demands. You would do that? We sure are lucky you decided to come up to the patio today. I knew drinking up here would be good for more than the view. Sure thing. I never meant to call for anyone's head on a pike. Velma's not my favorite person, but she ain't been cruel. Devil it all. Now you got me feeling sorry for her. Fine. I guess we'll go back to work to save Velma's job. Tell Velma not to worry. We'll look out for her.
It'll be good to get some steady pay again.
Thanks for the help. A nice break from the warehouse.
Hey, what do you think? I don't have time for this.
On my way.
What are the chances of all the times and places we could have been born?
Yeah.
We're here, light years from Earth, going about our lives.
Fresh blood at last. Stellar bacon and stuff.
Could I get another advance, Mr. Nandi?
Just make sure it's properly logged.
I'll note it next to the others, sir. Greetings, and welcome to Monarch Stellar Industries, producers and purveyors of the finest salt tuna in Halcyon. What can I do for...
Or is he not paying you on account of how he tried to fix the thing his own self and busted it even worse, and then said you wasn't fixing it fast enough, so he's docking your wages again? Not that I got any prior experience.
Not at all. Mr. Nandi treats us all right and pays us well. I just spent most of my paycheck on Raptidon acid. Laws, no. Sometimes it's canid teeth, or mantis worm wings. Whatever Sebastian has in stock, really. So I can talk to him, of course. He doesn't get going about much else.
I reckon she's got a little bit of a squish on this fella.
He's sort of the strong, silent type. Unfortunately, my apartment's kind of filling up with his stuff, and some of the neighbors are complaining about the smell. Would you? I'd appreciate that so much. Maybe don't tell him I wanted you to ask, just that you met this really nice lady named Celia, and she's... Oh, Mr. Nandi's doing that thing where he breathes through his nose real slowly. I'd better get back to work. He doesn't talk much, but he's got this quiet intensity, you know? Like there's stuff going on inside his head that you have no idea about. Plus, he's got great legs. It's hard to find a man who doesn't skimp on lower body. You think that's what I'm looking for? You're funny. Not in Stellar Bay. Everyone else who isn't taken either smells like salt tuna or they're my boss. Besides, a man with a good smile and a proportionate upper to lower body ratio isn't something to pass up. Sorry.
You don't look like Sublight. Must be free.
If you leave town, watch out for Iconoclast.
Here to do business with Sun. Good.
Well, new business. Celia, didn't I tell you our new statistics-based advertising model would be a hit?
That you did, sir.
How can yield improvements of 26.7% not quicken the pulse? How can 32% cost savings not moisten the loins?
You've often posed these very
Clear my schedule. This newcomer has a meeting with me. Did you hear that power play, Celia? They don't make them like this anymore in Halcyon. I only hope you don't judge me by my handshake. Now, what business brings you here? Hiram? Why, he's probably still out at Devil's Peak. Not that he's had the courtesy to notify me, but if you're here for him, I suppose that means... Yes, that's it. Channel your anger. I only wish I could do the...
Seems like you're having a rough time, Mr. Sanjar. Are you doing quite all right?
Oh, don't worry on my account. This is merely the latest in a long line of professional erotic and athletic disappointments. I had hoped that livening up our advertisements with enticing figures would draw the other corporations back to our bosom, but it seems we're back to the drawing board. Thanks to the so-called hazard clause, Monarch has been cut off from the board's resources and protection for 10 years now. Now, we've kept ourselves in business by trading with individual corporations, but given the off-the-books nature of those transactions, such arrangements are precarious. Yes, freedom is a tempting ideal, but a rather costly paramour. Exactly.
Intellectualism fuels the train to mankind's future, but the tracks the train runs on are forged from practicality.
Mr. Vicar, I don't want to be rude, but I don't think that means anything.
Yes, it's as though the good vicar has plucked the very words from my brain.
Well, Mr. Nandi here has a rather ingenious plan to get MSI restored to the board.
On our turn.
But will that help the people here, Mr. Sanjar? Keep them fed and safe?
That's precisely what I'm trying to do.
And if our advertising scheme hasn't borne fruit, then perhaps it's time we took matters into our own hands.
It's true, our Celia is an alarmingly competent middle manager. At any other company, she'd be wasted in data entry. The plan she refers to is a two-pronged approach, and the first part involves seeing Stellar Bay with a Bolt 52 cartridge. If you can get us what we need to rejoin the board, starting the Bolt 52, we'll be able to become one of the most
And you'll have a powerful ally on the board.
Why, one of the strongest defenses in Halcyon. In the old arms building southwest of town, which used to be part of Stellar Bay before we had to move our walls in, these days it's over. Do be careful. I've locked. Oh, and while you're at it, there should be a terminal in the arms building with some dangerous information. Perhaps you could delete it so it doesn't fall into the... What can I do? I see. And was his delivery of the MSI authorized? Well, that's excellent. I'll see that your feedback makes it into his... What else can I do? Then it's good that I've asked myself the same thing many times, especially seeing as the legal mechanism. Not intentionally. For many years, this planet was home to as many corporations as Terra 2. Really? I always thought they were refreshingly straightforward names. After all, the whole point of terraforming was to make them...
Here, though, the results were...
And as the other corporations began to tally their losses, they decided to pull out. MSI's leadership at the time certainly thought so.
And how did that work out?
Most regard Monarch as a lost, but there were others of us who saw an opportunity. The chance to improve working hours and conditions, to reform MSI from the... It's humane, but it's also good business sense. Exhausted, sick, and malnourished workers are not productive workers. Even a cursory review of the data bears that out.
I hope you'd treat them nice, whether it was good business or not, Mr. Sanjar. That's what being a community means. Treating people right, because it's the right thing.
Ms. Holcomb is our endlessly optimistic crew hand. It's good for the captain's morale.
A noble thought, Miss Holcomb. Unfortunately, noble thoughts rarely sway board policy. Anyway, we learned of a loophole in the corporate bylaws that would allow MSI to claim ownership of the entire planet once the other corporations pulled out, creating the perfect environment for us to enact these new reforms. Oh, well, there were surely other junior executives with more open minds, though none of them had the temperament to handle the paperwork. But I was keeping my tone flat and maintaining eye contact. You weren't supposed to...
This is why you've never been good with presentation.
Very well. Many, many years ago, Graham Bryant and I used to be collaborators. Indeed, for all the good it did. MSI's then leadership wasn't enthusiastic. They insisted we'd be relocating to Terra 2 along with everyone else. In a manner of speaking, many of us stayed behind in an act of quiet but firm defiance. As the most senior executive remaining, I ended up in charge of... I moved forward with our planned reforms as well as our strategy to assume ownership of the planet. Yet not long after I renamed it Monarch, the other corporations dislodged us from the board and began an official campaign to paint us as lawless savages. I don't know. Everything we did was legal and above board. I do think there's something useful in a governing... Why wouldn't anyone?
Without the board, chaos would overtake the system. Working within the established order isn't a principle to snub one's nose at, Captain.
To be on the board is to be part of the colonial community. And I'm not a man. If membership on the board can... Besides, I'm...
Don't get ahead of...
Yes, yes. My hope... It's a legal provision that gives the board the authority to cordon off any planet or location that...
But wait, what happens to the folks stuck on the wrong side?
I'm afraid the welfare of a few hundred people is too minor a figure into... Yes, making all of MSI criminals in the board's eye. As far as I'm concerned, the less said about... Graham seemed like a reasonable man years ago. And we both... I thought reform... What can I do? Then... What can I...
Have you talked to Sebastian? You know, sending you is the first bright idea I've seen from that man. I still don't know anything about it. But if you want to help him... But I'll warn you. Grim... Oh.
Rapmusk and Canada. Hello, stranger. Can I interest you in Raptidon tongue? Or maybe... You look like a woman who's looking for some mostly fresh animal. Huh. I haven't seen her in a few days. But I've been meaning to ask her how that Raptidon acid... I hope it's working okay, because no one else really seemed... Wait, I see what's going on. She put you up to this.
Oh, no, that's not it at all. She's smitten with you. You smited her. Smote? Smoot?
Don't get me wrong. I'd like to give her a discount. She's a real fine lady. Always talks nice and slow, so I understand. But if I give her one, I won't hardly make a bit, on account of no one else having any use for Raptidon. You sound pretty sure.
Give her a chance. Give yourself a chance. Take her someplace nice.
Okay, I'll do it. Once her shift ends, we'll go someplace nice.
That's the spirit, Sebastian. Be yourself. Between you and me, Captain, I'm not sure Miss Celia knows him too well. But we can hope, right?
You... I don't know. Celia usually buys whatever I have, and Mr. Pickett seemed real interested. So I...
Mr. Pickett? Franklin Pickett from Edgewater?
That's him. He'd been here years, but he always talked about going back to Edge.
Sure. Mr. Pickett used to run the community center outside Edgewater. He had this grand idea to make it a museum. As my dad told it, Mr. Pickett was always going on about getting a manta queen for the last display. He left the Vale, gosh, years ago.
He came to Stellar Bay years ago, just before the board cut us off. Ended up stuck here. He was always real interested in our monsters. Manta queens, especially. Sure, they're real big. Well, I could send you to the same place I sent Mr. Pickett. But I haven't seen him in a few weeks.
Captain, can we look for him?
Tell you what, I'll tell you where I sent Mr. Pickett if you promise to look for him. Help him out. All right then. Leave town through the southern gate, the one right here, and head. Last Mana Queen I saw was in the wilds out that a ways. Yeah. Huh?
Have you done? Okay, but how did he say it? Did he sound excited? Or was he like, yay, a date with Celia? I've secretly been waiting for this. Or was it more, sure, I don't have any... Not to worry. If I never buy another Raptidon tongue, it'll be too soon. Ah, look at me going on. I'm sure you've got other things to do, and Mr. Nandi's giving me that back to work. Anyhow.
Please, will someone help? Oh, thank you for stopping. Everyone acts like nothing's wrong, like my little boy. Please, you have to help me get my little... Oh, I just knew you were a good person. Agnes, I said, this is the woman to save your little ducky. And I was right.
Oh, law, Captain. A youngster won't last.
Please, won't... Thank you. Oh, I know. You look for him in Amber Heights, you hear? It's down... And if you find any of them iconoclasts indoctrinating my boy, you punch them in the mouths. Tell them what I think of them luring little boys.
Well, well. The only new folk I ever see. What can I get? All sales are.
Help! Someone's been killed! I think I'm gonna... I clean the apartments while everyone's at work. If you're going into the apartments, do not go into the lower one on the right. Now, if you'll
Sorry. Just spooked me, was all.
What a gruesome way to die.
Got it. Heads down.
We don't get many outsiders. Whatever you do, don't make it stop. You'll never hear the end of it.
You again! You again! You again!
Good day to you.
Whoa, by the stars, my poor heart. Most people don't. Besides, where should I begin? With the oversized mantisaurs? Or perhaps the rat spewing acid at our wall? The board was right. This place isn't fit for human Sanjar, of course. He had all these glorious ideas about how he'd run. It all sounds wonderful, until you realize there's only a few centimeters of repurposed steel between you and the deadliest creatures in the galaxy. I could do with a few kilometers of cold vacuum, but that spaceship is flown. Only every day. But in case you haven't noticed, and even if I did scrape together enough to buy passage out with sublight, which would mean reaching Fallbrook without getting eaten, shot, or dissolved. Nothing. That's what. Because MSI is not in what you'd call good standing with the board. So even if I could get out of here, no one's gonna hire him. Even talking about it has my blood pressure up.
Good day to you.
You're fast.
If Velma's capable of running the warehouse, she can certainly pick... Hello, dearie. Why, I don't believe I've seen you before. And with sweet cheeks like those, I'd remember. What can Auntie Abigail do for you? Bless your little heart, you must mean caffeinoid. If it's pep you need, one pill does... Now, I'm so sorry, but with the iconoclasts and the marauder filth chasing away what little trade... Our reserves have gotten so low, I've even had to start locking the supply room upstairs. Isn't it? I'd make an exception for you if I could, my little cherub. Is there... Oh... It's none of my business, but I have told her Dr. Williams would bump up her monthly allotment if only she'd join MSI. Contribute like the rest. Now I've gone and said too much. And you know me, dear. I'm afraid it'll be the better part of a month. Our dear Nyoka tends to exhaust her supply. Believe me, there's nothing I'd love better than... Dr. Williams managed the town's allotments from his terminal upstairs. Even I can't access... Oh, you flatter an old woman. Me? And to keep an extra key to the supply room.
The one upstairs, where we... In the town graveyard, I'm afraid. Poor man was always searching for the flower of enlightenment. The grave... do be... Well, this certainly isn't worth my good health. I'll get you a dose, but I'll have you know, I'm very There, and good riddance.
Don't be so hard on her. With Brax missing, she's working doubles and needs a little edge.
Very well, dearie. But you stop by any time you like.
Thanks, I'll keep that in mind. Sorry, I've got to get back to the warehouse.
I have nothing more to say to you, young lady.
You're the new face. Wow. So who do you follow?
Wait, don't tell me. You look like a Hammersmith Thunder fan. I'd heard they'd gotten a new hacker. Is that why everyone's making such a fuss about you? Ha! Maybe we're not so isolated. So, what... Poor Isaac. I was wondering why I hadn't seen him in a few days. I'd really like to help. Isaac was a sweet fellow. Right. So the thing with Isaac is he didn't know where to stop. He'd get stuck on something, and he just couldn't let it. Sometimes he'd drink Purpleberry Punch by the liter. Other times he'd keep betting on a losing team. Started owing the wrong people. I don't know for sure, but I saw Elijah and his buddies pushing Isaac around. They're hooligans from Fallbrook. They sweep into town, drop supplies off behind the warehouse, and spend the rest of their stay getting rowdy over tossball games. They usually loiter in the alley behind the yacht club. They're not allowed in the bar anymore. I bet you anything Isaac ran into trouble with one of them. Mr. Sanjar will be pleased. Here to catch... What? Graham's always filling the airwaves. All it means is the tossball games get to us in fragments.
Velma seem out of sorts to you?
She's always cranky.
No, I mean, more than usual.
Wouldn't know. I made it a point to stay out of her way.
Hey, Velma, I got your caffeinoid pills.
Look, you can tell Catherine the new shipment will be ready when it's ready, all right? She's... Did she now? Well, I can see I was mistaken. Because if Catherine really had sent you, there'd be a... Hope you can forgive my temper. First, my autoloader foreman stages a walkout, and now my chief pescatological health manager is... Braxton. He's in charge of getting the fish fat, but also making sure they don't get too many tumors. He's a real wizard with pharmaceuticals, but he has creative notions of working hours. Comes with living in a free colony. I can't keep working double shifts either. Since you don't seem to be constrained yourself, maybe you could check up on him. Tell him Velma said to get his lazy ass down here, or something else. This again? I swear, this is the last time I contract for any special... You can tell Grimm his poster came in. You can also tell him I got a better offer for it. So now it's going to Nell. That about cover it? No. I paid Sublight for it. So it's mine. And when Nell pays me for it, it'll be hers. Grimm may have asked for the poster, but it's not his until I take his... It's staying locked up in my office until now. Sure can. If you want... Sure. And once you finish helping me, then we can talk about... She runs the betting parlor across the way. She asked me about the poster once. Just once. Damn right. Fine. I got a feeling you and Catherine would get on like tumors on a pig. Take the poster then. And if I never hear another word about it, it'll be too soon. Unless you're here to tell me he's agreed to do his job again? Well, that's awful nice of him. Thanks for your help. You've gotten me out of a tight spot here. Take this for your effort. Stealing's such a nasty word. Let's call it... And yeah, let's just say I've noticed the stereobiotics we use for the fish would get used a little faster on Braxton's shifts. We're not like those corporate towns where you get fined for sleeping on the wrong side. Besides, the Spacer's Choice stuff we use is cheap enough. And Braxton knows how to get this all tuna, fat, and mostly... Sublight boss out of Fallbrook. Handles most goods that come in or out of Stellar Bay. Has a mouth like a Ground Six space.
I don't have time for this.
Easy does it.
They're probably more or less dangerous than a steady supply. Whew, that hits the spot. Right in the, oh, no, there it is. There it is. Yes. We're in business. Let's go. Great. Oh, Hiram? I ain't checked in on that man in an age. We'll be going south and west, mostly along the road till we're past Fallbrook. Out there's a western slope that'll lead us through some fun. You like, if you're more of a spelunker, Rotting River will take you into the mountain caverns. We can discuss. That said, I
hope you like being part of our crew, Nyoka. We're really...
Stellar Bay had a vicar once. He took it upon himself to Vince Graham's folk to come back to the corp. Kept making the trip between the city and Amber Heights by foot. Kept getting himself into all sorts of scrapes. Day came when I found a book of his in the middle of a rap encampment, and still gripping it too.
All I'm saying is, our lives are predestined upon a path that is only visible in retrospect. If I could...
Can we talk? Good old Stellar Bay. Only place on the planet that don't stink of sulfur. Right. Follow it south.
got a fight on our hands.
Solid kill.
Don't mess with us!
You won't get any mercy from me.
Nice work!
Everyone all right?
A visitor? What an
I'm getting real bad fight or flight right now. Watch your step. People ain't this friendly.
I, for one, welcome a reprieve from our travels. That is, if you'll have us, kind sir.
That's the spirit. Now come in. Make yourselves comfortable. Excellent. You've arrived at just the right time. Please.
Something ain't right.
You must be famished. Is it sticking again? There's a bit of a trick. I do appreciate...
Oh, hello. That's nice. We had someone else over a week ago or yesterday. It just gets hard to remember things. I recall other times it's like there's fog. That's nice of you. I usually feel better after.
What a pleasant surprise. And just yet the...
Only if you give yourself over to the plan, Martha. May I call you?
By all means, just make yourself comfortable. Company is always a reason for cheer. What tiresome company we'd be. Fear not on that account. Besides, I've always believed the Eternal reveals itself plain and... Just that your presence here is a gift to us, and one that we don't... Look at me, prattling on as if this gravy is going to cook itself. What?
Oh, hi there. Did you come to bring us... That's what... There was this other man who used to bring them. Mama and Papa said he came from the city. When we got sick one time, he brought those candies to make us well again. And they worked. Now we feel... He said they were making us sick. Mom and Papa got real... They went to have a talk with him. Afterwards...
Perhaps we should skip dinner. My stomach has been a tad unsettled.
Hey, what do you... Liar! You're trying to steal the last of my rocket... The ones that come in a bottle with a rocket ship on it.
There you are. Been poking around, have you? That's where we store the leftover.
Down they go!
anger a man of the cloth.
That's the last of them. Can we talk? Hey, next time we're in the Monarch Wilderness, I'd like to stop in, preferably before we get to Hiram's. You don't seem the type to run off and get yourself killed. I'll be upfront with you. I hate asking for help. I hate it. Every time I give someone the opportunity to disappoint me, they seem to make it their But this... Really? Here I was steeling myself for inevitable I used to run with a band of hunters. Friends. 6 of us. We were on Monarch when the corporations pulled out, and we helped a lot of people pick up the pieces. I haven't seen 2 of them in years, and the rest I know to be dead. I'd like to gather their effects and bury them all in the same place. First, we go to Hayes. I'll show you where he rests. Then we find my 2 lost... If we... They sulfur-sodden assholes. Ain't enough that the raps eat everyone? Now people are doing it too?
It is unnatural, an affront to the grand plan.
Don't mess with us!
Incoming, Captain!
Nice hit!
Well done. We're still alive.
Hello? Hello? I hear boots out there. Oh, thank the Eternal. I'm Huxley. Hux if you're lazy. My friends and I were scavenging here, and a Mantiqueen showed up. Then Raptidons. It was a void block. I ran in here, and, now the door's locked. Little help? It's easier than it sounds, alright? Next time you get chased by Raptidons, you let me know the rationality of your decisions. Phew. Thanks, Late. My buddy had a key, but I ain't heard him in a while. So look for a dead guy. Oh.
Ah, phew. Thank you so much. It was getting all stuffy in there, and I was getting a mite lightheaded, and I think maybe now I'm out here. And I'm headed back to Amber Heights.
Still landing yourself in trouble, eh, Hux?
Oh, hi, Nyoka. You mind giving me an escort back home? Oh. Oh, sure, I'm a runner. I'm used to getting all dizzy and... Hey, who's your identical, slightly blurry friend? But I ain't got nothing on me. How's about... Can do. Thanks a lot.
with us.
I wonder what secrets these ruins contain.
Don't bother knocking on any doors. If anyone's inside, they're liable to respond with gunfire.
Right, Captain.
Understood. I will keep my head down.
Here we go!
Hold on to your hats, children. This ride is about to get ugly.
You'll get used to it. Give it 10 or 15 years.
I've had quite enough of you!
To shreds, you say? Got him!
They were destined to die! Skills are unrivaled. That's the last of them.
Die.
That's the last of them. May the law have mercy on you. I won't.
Covering you!
Nice.
I smite you in the name of the law. Here's a little trick I learned in prison. Get up! Incoming!
To shreds, you say?
That's the last of them. Nice. May the law have mercy on you. I won't. Pass that armor.
Good score, Cap!
Coming real close to eating me. I'm Lenora. You, what are you... Well, shit, today's your lucky day, I guess. Thanks for the help. I've got to pick up some things from the bay, but I run a little stand near Fallbrook. Next time you need supplies...
Here's a little trick I learned in prison. I'm not getting caught.
I am a... There they go!
done here. South here, off the road and down this slope. We've got a decent trek ahead of us.
Just wonderful. Someone's destroyed the damned bridge.
Get up!
You're hurt.
Incoming! Nice hit!
Damn, but we're good.
I'm just saying, if we did need to dispose of a body, this would be a good spot for it. Here we go!
there. Thanks again for getting me away from the... You want to buy some? No, don't be absurd. I'm based out of Stellar Bay, but I cater to our more, trailblazing clientele. Hey, life's too short to be worried about danger this and careful that. I'd rather just do my job and try and enjoy it. Oh, it's nothing out of the ordinary, really. I was on my way to Fallbrook and got jumped by insane, bloodthirsty cannibals. It happens.
Fallbrook's on the other side of the bridge there if you need a drink. We're only halfway to the mountain, so might consider stopping in.
I've had quite enough of you!
Hello there. A word, if I may be so bold? Well now, here I thought those mantisaurs had peacefully exited the premises. But you're a simpler explanation. Thanks for the assistance. Name's Weston. Every once in a while, I set up shop along these here roads. You find yourself in need of resupply? Care to purchase?
A vicar, huh? You a true believer, or do you just like the tithes?
Why, that's borderline offensive, Ms. Ramnarine Wentworth. Of course I believe. The tithes are merely a well-earned bonus.
Trouble checking in? Or you might need directions to the amenities? If you're locked out of your cabin, a replacement key card. No reservation? No problem. Day trippers are always welcome in our saloon. Straight back and to the right. If you hit the falls, you've gone too far. Check in with Ms. Malin. She'll set you straight. I am here to anticipate and facilitate your needs, patron. Guess it's true. Fallbrook really is the best-kept secret in all of Monarch, excepting the Borst Factory's secret ingredient. We're a leisurely stopover for the more adventurous spacefaring traveler. Understand? Swell. We like quick-on-the-draw types like you. Saloon is straight back and to the right. Once you're feeling sated, you're welcome to a private... Ms. Malin can let you one if you're interested. She's the one who runs... You're looking for Ms. Malin. On an errand for the boss lady? That sounds ominous. Yeah. Ms. Malin won't like that. She's not but just down the way. A 10-to-1 says she's either pouring drinks or skinning a sprat in the saloon. Word to the wise, Ms. Malin don't take kindly to interlopers. When I said sprat, I didn't mean the sort with whiskers and a tail.
Time for a round of whist. Or a round of whiskey. Or both.
Take a gander at that mug. I ain't ever seen someone so adept looking my whole life.
Watch yourself, Captain. This guy's got eyes like a sprat set on stealing your dinner.
Ah, now, come on. All I mean is, well, rather that, you don't seem like the usual pigeons we pluck. No offense, of course, if you are a Byzantium goldblood. Say, I'd like to do you a favor. Might I interest you in a shirt? I certainly hope you're not insinuating the problem is me. I mean, that would be preposterous. I never do anything under the table. That, Miss Malin. If there's any issue, really, you should talk to her. Oh, right. Well, pure and simple, it's like this. I run our drug delivery service. Recently, I had the genius idea to cut costs in half by swapping our autoloaders with faster, cheaper sprats. See? I know a fellow genius when I clap eyes on him. Too right you are. Only problem is my sprat carriers ain't arrived from their latest... As I was saying, you look more capable than most of the hoople heads around these parts. What say you locate him and retrieve... In return, I'll cut you 5% of the profit. 35%? Are you out of your gourd? If I wasn't recovering from a bout of Margellans, I wouldn't stand for this. But things are what they are, so I'll agree to it. My sprat carriers scurry back and forth through the shipping tunnels. Got the goods? Ow! What the... No, I wouldn't. Ow! Oh, for the love of... I thought we were joking! If this swells shut, I swear I'll... Nothing. I am... Please and thank you. Though, you put that mean right hook to good use getting my drugs, and I'll be more than happy. Got the good? Hip. I'll run my... Good luck. Hit me. Officially. Pure and... Oh, you're...
Oh, I beg your pardon. Can you not see I'm walking here? Physically, you mean? In my mind, I have traveled galaxies. Well, it is of no consequence, I assure you. I'm not entirely decided. If I'm being honest, I think I'd fancy a visit to Tartarus, so long as it's under the shield of my fantastical imagination. Pardon me, you're distracting the magnificent journey. What an Nothing at all, I assure you. If there's no further perhaps I'll... Not now. I'm walking and thinking while I'm walking.
What?
What was that?
Hey!
You! Drop that!
What do you think? Next time, don't go acting all suspicious.
You seen Arthur today?
Nah, last time.
No, but thank you. I'm quite all right. Can't fathom why you'd go searching her out. But it's your... Don't suppose I could just... Deal? A rather bad one indeed. The fella swore Fallbrook was unrivaled in its leisurely pursuits. And now that I've run dry, or nearly so, the
Welcome to the offices of the Greater Halcyon Insurance Group. I'm obligated to inform you that our coverage does not extend to incidents deemed to result from negligence, criminal activity. So, what kind of insurance package can I... We're not on Monarch. For all practical and tax-related purposes, this office is an official enclave of Byzantium. Oh, it's certainly not about what I say. That's all down to our legal team and our CI... Plenty. As my boss likes to say, there's a policy for every situation. We've insured unusually expressive eyebrows, outrageous statements, usually character actors, or corporate execs with many... That policy is almost exclusive. In the unlikely event they make a claim about a product that turns out to be less than accurate, they need some kind of protection against the damage to their... Those are mostly for top-rungers in Byzantium who have a lot of social and financial capital wrapped up in their marriage There's one for your beloved eloping with your sibling, your beloved eloping with their sibling, scandalous rumors forcing you apart, the revelation of a secret love child. We try to cover every possible hazard. One thing's for sure, you won't find better policy protection against sudden lunar implosions.
My dry goods come 75% guaranteed mold-free. Or was that 75% mold-free? No rubbernecking. Make a buy or move on.
What do you think? You make a real generous argument, then. You shopping for pre-owned or new? If you bloody it, you buy it. Town sublight owned and run. Caters to a variety. The one you want to avoid pissing off the most is Catherine. Proves bad for her business, and she'll kneecap you without a second thought. Yeah, and? Do I look like the city planner? I wasn't exactly consulted on... But now that you mention it... We got smugglers, outlaws, mavericks, and Byzantium socialites flying in and out of Fallbrook all the time. Take it you're one of them yourself. Well, if you don't learn nothing else about Fallbrook, rest assured on this much. Your bits are always good with me. I offer high... If you...
What are you looking at?
You don't look like a smuggler nor a dandy. Catherine sends you back here? On second thought, it's best if I... What's your order? This is the ante up, all right, but we don't serve drinks. Hate to break it to you, but try Yvonne upstairs if you look... No, I don't have any... Ugh. If it's only a drink you're after, the full... This here's the ante up. Where you place... Toss ball, auto look... Will book...
Uh-huh. You blind, little bird? Or can you not? Why is it every sissy pig fucker who strolls into my town expects me to smile and shout awful friendly? Welcome to Fallbrook. Only nugget of paradise in this entire law-forsaken land.
Sorry to trouble you, Ms. Malin. I understand you're a terribly important figure in these parts. Perhaps you could point me to a man by the name of Reginald Cheney.
That sprat shit better not have brought trouble into my town. He's a long-term renter. Easily replaced. Check his domicile. Whatever happens, I don't fucking care. Just keep the mess from staining my little nugget of paradise. You know, I ain't heard that one before. Suppose I'll have to work harder to show you just what makes our town. But first, I'll need to know what brings you Well? Good of you to finally haul your ass over here. I wired for backup. Got something that's gonna require special extraction from Cascade. So you got a brain on them shoulders. Excellent. To extract the gas, you'll need to siphon it from the lab in Cascadia into one of your ship's fuel tanks. I do like your gumption. To get to the gas, you'll need to navigate through the town, which is... The lab itself has become an infested nest.
And will again. We ought to be taking any opportunity we get to bury those critters.
Direct and aggressive. I always did like your sensibilities. You know when to strike and when to wait. Shame what came of your crew.
Crews are for ships. They were a family.
Close enough. Now, after you clear the manti nest and reach the storage room, all that's left is to get the gas. The task will require someone with technical skills. Or you could force it through with a plasma overload. Don't recommend that option, though, unless you want to get...
Well, I haven't seen the system, but
I'll just bet you can. Men of the cloth never do cease to amaze me. Bright as a newborn star on the outside, blackest of holes within. Once you've got our goods, take them to the groundbreaker. Lilia's fencers ought to handle the rest. I've marked the coordinates for you to the lab in Cascadia. Use the passcode Antediluvian on the terminal to get in. But before you make your run, I could use a heavy helping hand regarding a local issue. For a fine fee, of course. Good. This particular... There's a Borst factory on up the way, run by a man who calls himself the King. Clive Lundberg, insufferable. That aside, it's a business ripe for the plucking. I want it. Clear as that. Stars, I hope so. Clive Lundberg, the self-proclaimed Borst King of Monarch. He's making the only meal to be had this side of Monarch, and I'm tired of ponying up for my dinner. I want that Borst fat, and you're the soon-to-be handsomely paid fucker who's... Guess you've got it figured out. Hit him where it hurts. And his gut or his production lines ought to make do. Then I'd say you might care to poison the cysty pigs. Doctor a few financial records. Or... Sometimes the simplest solution is the sweetest. It'll be more than good when you're finished. Oh, and if you don't fancy going in guns blazing or crawling through a sewer pipe, see Duncan in the Dry Goods and Sundry building. May luck be with you.
Folks I never met before are my most favorite So, what? Let me just stop you right there, stranger. My question, it's not one I really want to know. Not unless it accompanies some extra... More than you can afford. Bagged another one, did he? The anti-up's downstairs, and they don't serve drink. Here, have a pity swill, on me. Your eyes do not deceive you. This bar serves the sweetest firewater in all of Fallbrook. I got some... If you're asking if it's sublight owned, then yes. If you're... Ms... Who ain't these days?
Catherine's great, ain't she? She'll pull you out of the sulfur, so long as you don't mind being in her debt.
Efficient, clever, ruthless. I like her.
Always imagined Fallbrook would be...
Fancier, stocked with better booze.
cheaper. I've emptied 14-bit cards in the last...
That's because you got a terrible
It most certainly not.
I wouldn't steer you wrong, friend. See? There it goes again.
If you're feeling like the civilized type, the waterfall's a good spot to wash your clothes.
Remind me never to get on Ms. Malin's...
How's Clive? Sure.
Hey, Cass. Knock, knock.
Remember, sublight is not... I am...
Hey, Max. What does your religion say happens to us after we die?
The body returns to the universe from whence it came. I'm sure you've seen a corpse in the various stages of decay.
Why do we exist in the first place, then? What the hell's the point?
Our lives contribute to the betterment of the human race. Everyone has a part to play for the greater advancement.
I ain't got a part. Life ain't a damn cereal.
You helped people survive the Monarch evacuation.
Next one's mine!
Everyone all right? Now, where was I? Oh, right. You helped people survive the Monarch evacuation, did you not? Perhaps one of them will go on to unlock godhood for the human race.
Well, if they do, I hope they remember who pulled them from the jaws of raptidons. Look northwest. That ain't it, but marauders sometimes camp inside the buildings there. Steer clear unless you fancy getting shot. Stand still. I'll let you know.
I smite you in the name of the law! Nice hit!
What's the last of them? keep my head down.
Nice kill!
I call this rotting river, on account of all the dead things I've thrown in it over the years. It'll take you into the Devil's Peak Caverns if you follow it under the bridge. That's one option. Other's the slope up. If you're up for some fun, let's chat. What's up? These caves lead up through the mountain. What's up? Right. We can take the caverns up, but if you ain't into spelunking, there's a path a little ways north. I'd warn you. Big bads. The caves back east are safest. We can head up this path if you want to shoot your way through a few nightmares on your way out.
Trouble in coming, Captain. Here's a little trick I learned in prison. Don't mess with us. It did not look this steep from a distance.
It is a trek, isn't it? Almost like we don't have working lifts or roads.
Never anger a man of the cloth. Sometimes violence is the only way.
And here we are. Told you we'd make it in one piece. Station ain't too far now.
Hey, you! Get over here! There are marauders up ahead!
Oh, no. How the hell did marauders navigate the cavern?
This station's under the protection of the corporate compliant... You a marauder? 'Cause me and my sunshine, that's my gun if you were wondering, we don't take kindly... A coherent enough response, I reckon. You're clear, but I would caution you against pressing on ahead. This station's plumb crawling with marauders, you know. I take it you ain't met the other sea. Me and Sunshine are doing exactly what we've been tasked with. You ought to talk to my crew. They're guarding a small barracks to the southeast. There is nothing I'd enjoy more, but the C3s play it by the book. See that path that...
Need something? Talk to Joy. And for the love of space, don't rile the marauders.
Nice one.
I'll take your confession now. Show them how it's... The strong survive and the weak perish.
Everyone all right?
Nice work.
Damn, but I like
You
the
should
way
check
you
in with
fight,
my crew.
stranger.
Maybe they
Wish
can
me
help
joy.
you. Go back and follow the trail running underneath that archway, and you'll find them soon enough.
Hiram must have sealed the door. He's pretty easy.
You may not realize this, being as you're an outsider, but flaring alarms indicate the station.
Can't? We'll see about that.
Everyone all right?
Here's the elevator, but it ain't gonna budge while this place is on lockdown. Guess we keep moving forward. Look for another way up.
Whoever you are, yes, I can see you. Come here and talk to me. Face the intercom. I can't tell if you're brave or simply touched in the head. What in the galaxy are you doing sniffing around my station? Unless you are, in fact, trying to suicide by Marauder? And you, Nyoka, what are you doing lugging a stranger into my station?
You could use the socialization, you son of a bitch. Also, she hired me.
To what purpose? I happen to have some significant problems I am dealing with right now. Marauders, running out of purple-berry wine 3 days ago, not being able to bloody broadcast. No. We'll deal with information-related business later. As I said, there are bigger problems threatening my life and life. The Marauders want me dead. And since my hired hands have clearly turned idle, it appears I need you to clear out the threat, as my newest
Or we can call you Hiram, on account of that's your damn name, and doubly on the account of the broker being a dumbass alt.
What? Everyone calls me that. Aside from you. See, Nyoka? I barricaded the broadcast center, but I can only hold out for so long. Clear the Marauders out. They destroy the transmit... The elevator... Hey, elevators to your right. Get ready.
Captain! Everyone all right?
That's the last of them, I think.
Ah, Marauder free at last. I'll get the door. You hurry on in.
Never thought I'd be ecstatic at having the walls painted in blood, but seeing as it's not mine, I'd say this calls for a celebration. My compliments on your improvised utilization of the fire suppressant system. I would expect nothing less from one of Nyoka's associates.
As usual, I'll take that as a compliment.
Of course. This ought to square our debt. One hefty payment for a highly valued service rendered. But, I admit, I do wonder why... Allow me to pose my question in another manner. Why, in the nebula, are you here? Ah yes, our little chat on the intercom. You're looking for the premier broker for all of Monarch. Phineas must have sent you. He's the only one insane enough to send someone to Monarch. I knew it was only a matter of time before he came a-knocking. Look, I might be late.
Oh, you do you? I have lost track of the number of beers you owe me for chasing raptidons off your stoop.
You said that in a way that was almost believable.
I take offense to that. Look, okay. It might take... I am awaiting but a single incoming transmission, but MSI and the Iconoclasts are clogging the airwaves from Stellar Bay and Amber Heights. Exactly what I was thinking. Which, of course, has inadvertently affected the incoming port and... No, they're jamming the limited frequency... You do that, luck be... Is that a... Of course, we'll... There are... If you try to cite me on this, I will deny. Do you understand? What I am about to reveal is the sort of... MSI's ownership of Monarch is technically... that the chairman... and... What? No. Why would I go out of my way to intercept messages from Earth? There's no... Now, if you... They are a curious... Sanjar's not actually at fault for his past performance reviews, but he can keep hunting for loopholes to get... Not in his... For Nebula's sake, even with the loophole I gave him, he's only in charge of MSI because... Indeed, the information I gather usually is. Some say Graham suffers from nightmares that leave him sweat-drenched. I would assume it stems from the friends and family he lost. You mean between MS... Precisely. The other corporations were fleeing, but MSI had lagged behind, giving Sanjar and Graham an opportunity. Take over MSI, stay here while the other corps left. Precisely. Without me, they never would have done more than play Revolution in Thus, the bargain was struck. They could run MSI while I would operate Devil's Peak Station. Unfortunately. Then I have... Not much. Phineas has been in hiding for the past 35 years. He got in touch with Nyoka first, who I use as a physical go... Not juicy enough for you. There is a sharper side to the good scientist than you'd expect. If allegations are to be believed, the experiments he conducts for the greater good are in fact treasonous. I am not convinced as to the validity of these allegations, considering the source, but I am also not How low? I may have a secret for you.
Oh, no. Don't mess with us! Incoming! May the law have mercy on you! I won't! Everyone all right? Sometimes violence is the only way! We're not getting through! Nice one, Captain!
I am a storm!
Oh, we got a killer on the loose.
something's...
Solid kill.
I find myself marvel. Some... Bakono, the author, and... But...
Well, like I don't know what that means. Not only no, but void no. I quit. And...
Company ammo.
Here we go. Tell him stop. Well done. We're still alive.
Whoa now. And just what do you figure you're doing up here? These are my private quarters, friend. I don't allow tours up here. I don't allow tours ever on deeper consideration. Untrue. I merely did not expect a visitor in my private chambers, where I expect solitude while I slaughter them who disobey. I do own a factory known for specializing in the canning of Borstwurst. On occasion, I like to imbibe other parts of the Did you fancy me a cannibal? Perish the thought. No, I don't eat the bodies, I disappear. A joke, that last was. So, what can I do for you?
I'm not saying you shouldn't vex this guy, but if you do, it's been nice knowing you.
While I approve of your associate's cautious nature, I still teeter on the verge of losing. Let us move forward. By sublight, you mean Catherine, do you? Listen, friend. The Borst King of Monarch does not negotiate with coveters. How about you bring me Catherine's severed head? You desire that I should lower myself to Catherine's level of crassness and filth? I cannot fathom how that would cotton. The king build this golden monopoly. true? You figure she will appreciate my skills? They did take me years to... However, I remain unconvinced she could provide the means to make the association worth my while. If you ain't noticed, I'm doing swell, ruling this kingdom. I do admire a properly ruthless individual. If it will keep that sublight sow off my back, then it's an undoubtedly worthwhile pursuit. The king is interested. John Hancock me on the dotted line, friend. I will even give her a cut of the profits, requiring she keeps clear of my short hair. Do not push me. I am not... Tell Catherine she is permitted to dump the bodies each and every Tuesday, precisely at 3 a.m. Indeed it is. Did you partake of the experiment? Don't wait so long, the meat rots. Easier for who, you knee-knocking borst?
Love a good fight.
I took a job once, bit on the shorter side. When we set out to hunt down the Raptidons, I found out firsthand where his nickname. Dirty Don killed those Raptidons with his bare hand. In the end, he stood drenched in blood over the end. Yeah. Day came when he tried to take on a Mantiqueen. Got himself eaten one limb at a time. Oh well, live and learn.
Last of them.
You seen Arthur today?
You'd think folks were pissing in the alleyways as bad as it's.
Please say the Yoda corpse you're wearing is Huh. Not much boast to that declaration. I might have hired more than we're successful, can tell you that. Still, this ought to compensate for your troubles. And take an aromatic. You stink like Sisty Pig. Speaking to my left ear, will you? Right one's damaged. Last we talked, I only got half of what... Well?
Well, hello, and welcome to the home of the iconoclasts. I'm Rose. Please take a pamphlet. In it, you'll find everything you need to know about Graham, his philosophist truths, and the iconoclast way. He wrote it himself, you know. Oh no, I'm so sorry. I keep forgetting we're out of pamphlets. Gosh, blast it. Why, we're the only free people in Halcyon. No corporations, no shackles, no problems. Oh, those are just hurdles. We deal with them as they come. You're welcome to stay with us, so long as you can earn your keep. Oh, you've heard Graham's teachings. I'm so glad. He and Zora have done such a wonderful job spreading the light around this dark, dark planet. You can think of those two as our leaders, but they're more like examples. We all ought to be more like them. Why, he's our founder. Graham taught us about philosophism. Through him, we came to the eternal truth. I'm glad you're asking, by the way. I hope you'll consider staying. She's been with us since the beginning. I think she was our sawbones back then, but now she's more like our commander. She goes and finds people in the wilderness and gets them to come here. And she keeps us from being chewed on and whatnot. She's liable to take your head off if you screw up, but then she'll sew it back on for you. Graham's place is in the large building straight back. Zora's sometimes there talking with him, but usually she's in the triage clinic next door. Oh, Graham settled here a long time ago. Shoot, I wish I had a pamphlet to give you. It's all in there. I wasn't around back then, but they say a lot of the old MSI corporate folks died here. He calls it a spiritual metaphor, something about rising from the ashes. The new boy! Yes, he's quite clever. He took to our teachings very quickly. Last I saw him, he was headed into one of the buildings up the hill.
I ought to mention, the
Welcome to the Emporium. I'm Bronson. It ain't really a store. Think of me more like a quartermaster, and a chef, and a handyman, and whatever else we need. We gotta eat. Eating means hunting. Hunting means armaments. We used to let people take what they will, but then some idiot shot some other idiot over cards. So Zora set up a system. You fuck up, you don't get to buy gear. Yeah, plenty. If you're the type to fix a thing or two, I've got a couple reports I need to follow up on. The pipes up on Milton's house burst. Someone needs to shut them off. Then there are the cables outside the bar. A sprat chewed through them, and now they're... Then there's the old guardhouse, outside town on the way to the old Bayside Terrace. Someone needs to reset the comms breaker there. I ought to tell you, most of the... We sent...
A Manta Queen.
Yeah. We felled it, mind. But we lost 2 runners and 5 gun hands.
A total failure, then. So much for the ruins.
And hell only knows
A stranger comes to our home. If you're looking for a path to walk, you've found one. If you're looking for a teacher, I am one. Welcome to the Iconoclasts. The truth that I have come to learn and embrace since shedding the corporate yoke. Out here, we survive by the sheer strength of our spirit. We have no need for the endless rules and red tape of a corporate structure.
We do seem to burn through endless ammunition and medical tape, though.
Yes, well, such is life. Our descendants will enjoy safety and luxury, but our generation is the foundation on which that future is built. Now, what? Stop. No. Spreading the truth is the only way to combat the board's poisonous campaign of propaganda against their people. I realize the board has blockaded our efforts, but Devil's Peak is an interplanetary radio tower. Surely...
You are quite assured in the idea that any who hear your message will not immediately change stations upon realizing what utter rubbish it is.
Graham, we should be focusing on survival anyway. Food, ammo, and medicine. Maybe now's the time to pivot.
Pivot, huh? If radio isn't working, we might try another way. It seems the captain's timing is more than just serendipitous. I've had my sights on an old printing press for some time. The board uses magazines and advertisements to subtly focus the colony's attention. We will use their tricks against...
Wait, that's not what I meant.
Help me clear out and repair the press, and I will have no need for that. Wonderful. I requisitioned replacement rollers for it some time ago. Huxley should have delivered them yesterday. Speaking of which...
You bought rollers? You haven't even cleared the wraps out yet. What are you doing wasting bit? Forget it. Huxley's still recovering.
It seems we're out a runner. If you intend to help our cause, I'll ask you to meet one of our sympathizers. A woman named Carlotta periodically buys goods on our behalf from Stellar Bay has caught on, but they remain friendly. She meets us in the ruins of Bayside Terrace. From our compound, follow the road north.
So you're her mysterious savior. She sings your praise.
That girl and her songs, so eager to learn, so bright-eyed, so tone-deaf. Wonderful. While you're at it, I wonder if Carlotta still has those high-capacity... We can use them to copy and modify radio serials. Yes, not just magazines, but their precious...
Unbelievable. I hope I don't have to tell you this, but if there is extra money, would you mind buying, I don't know, food and... Graham, if you need me, I'll be a...
Right. How many good folk we gonna lose to our missions?
That's just the way it is.
Oh, hello. Good to see you again. Damn right. Ain't nothing in the wilderness can stop me, except being locked up. Well, on the way back, I twisted something in my leg, foot area. Where does my foot end and my leg begin? Wherever that is, it hurts. So, no runs for me for a little while. Time to kick back and relax. Huh? Why? Oh, ha! You're fun. I did a dumb thing. I was trying to get away from a terror ray. Usually, you can just get a ways from their nest and they'll stop following you. Then I tripped over a void dam.
There's your iconoclast theory of...
Mister, I don't know what chaos is, but rocks ain't got theories. Till it stops hurting, I guess. Zora says I'll be fine in a month or so.
Looks like I'm not the only new face around here. What do I call you? Welcome to Amber Heights, Captain. Call me Tucker. You here to join the Iconoclasts? Help us free... I am not a little boy. Haven't been one for decades, no matter what my mama wishes. I take it she's still looking for me? According to her, stepping foot outside of the house in broad daylight is too dangerous. My entire life, she crammed a fear of danger. Don't go play with friends. Mantisaurs will tear your arms off. Don't leave the city. Raptidons will spit acid on your face. Marauders can violate you. I stuck around way too long, ruled by her fears. I'm 42 years old, but she still sees me as a little boy. She doesn't want to see me as anything other than her baby boy. Why would I go... You're right. I can do this. I just need to stand my ground and make her see she can't control me anymore. No one can.